Hello and welcome to the Jukebox Project. If you don't know what a jukebox is, it's a device where you put money in it and it plays music. They don't exist very much anymore, but that's vaguely what this project does. I made it mainly because I wanted you to practice that frequencies relate to notes of things. I wanted you to use the tone command in various ways. I wanted to practice arrays a lot, and this is a great practice for arrays and ways you can use them. And it's also great practice for functions, which are very useful and we haven't used enough. So let's take a look at it. So first thing we're doing, it's the simplest circuit ever. We just got a piezo buzzer on pin 8, and that's it. And then we just define what our notes are. I had to define F1 is 349 instead of F is 349 because F was already taken. It actually would work just fine on here on the simulation, but it wouldn't have worked when you tried to use it in your Arduino because F was already taken. And these are good note lengths. You can mess with them a bit. My error checking code will check to make sure it's not ridiculous, but it doesn't have to be exactly these. Having these things, if you have your tone on for 500 milliseconds or half a second, and then you delay for 600 milliseconds, that'll give you 100 milliseconds in between notes, which ended up sounding not too bad. It's not perfect. This is a bit of a simplified music program in that all notes are the same length. Also, another reason why this is important is because the program doesn't stop after you play tone. If you say tone on pin 8, add an A note for 500 milliseconds, it starts it playing on there and then immediately goes on to the next line. So if you didn't have the delays in there, you'd just hear the last note. Because it would start to play the first one and then like a millisecond later play the next one and then the next one and the next one and the next one. You wouldn't hear any of that and you just hear the last note until the end. So we need the delay in there so it waits for the note to complete and gives it a little bit of extra time so there's some spacing in between notes. Hopefully remember how to use functions. It is important you set it up the way I said because my code will call your function and check to see that it works the way it's supposed to. So make sure your array is your first parameter and the length of the array is your second parameter. I wanted to get you to do something kind of fancy to figure out the length of it. So ideally, I was hoping to get it so you could just pass the int array, but just because the way C++ works, it wasn't gonna work easily without teaching you a lot more stuff. So you're just gonna have to count the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So Ode to Joy is length 15. Sorry, it's not more elegant. If you want, you could use a trick I mentioned in one of the previous lectures to find the length. In setup, it'll work in setup, but once you pass it to the function, it's actually passing what's called a pointer. So it doesn't know the length of the original array from the length of the pointer. So that's not going to help you. All right, that's about it. I want you to make your own song array, and you're going to call your function. So just do play song. Oh, make sure you name it correctly too. So call play song, Ode to Joy, and then its length, which is 15 as we counted, and that'll get you going. If you want to make a fancier program that can make better music, don't do it on this because I'm looking for kind of specific things on this, but on your actual code, if you want to do an extension, you can set it up so your function takes 2 arrays, one to hold the notes and one for how long you want to hold the note for. So not all notes are the same length. You might want some going for 500 milliseconds. You might want some going for 250 milliseconds if they're quicker notes. So something like that might not be a bad idea. Anyway, up to you. But if you want to make it sound a little bit better, again, the big weakness of this one is there's no, currently there's no way to change the length of each note. They're all the same length, and the spacing between the notes is also set. But you can fix that if you want. Anyway, that is the Jukebox project. Good luck.